The others are coming.
There's probably a lot of ways of thinking about the other. We're a part of a group, we're a part of an us, and that us is composes a part of our identity. The others are those that aren't included in that group.
She believes he's an other.
An other? What?
To say that something is other is to say that it's alien, in effect, that it's different. And often what we categorize as other is something that we don't really understand. And when we don't understand it, of course, then we fail to sympathize with it. Then we fail to identify with it. Then we might see it as a threat.
Hey! Take it easy.
Take it easy. He's one of them.
Almost none of us has like a single group that we're a part of. In the real world, there's so many us's. Right? I mean, we have political affiliation, ethnicities, social classes, genders, cultures, nationalities. Nice thing about the island is that you kind of get rid of that complexity and you make the groups really simple. If you were in the back of the plane, you went to one group. If you were in the front, you went to another group.
In a circumstance where a group of very different people have gone through a very similar experience together, that can lead to an understanding and a bond between those people.
Well, I mean, we start off as individuals. What unifies them is the threat that they're under, right? That's what gives them their shared identity.
One important thing to bear in mind about those sorts of group dynamics is that the threat comes first. In a sense, the them, the they, comes before the us. And you only get these sorts of group dynamics when there's an external threat. So you see this, for example, immediately after 9/11. You have all of a sudden there's an external threat. All of a sudden Americans feel that they are one people. But then when the threat subsides, once again, the threat to you, your vulnerability, is from other people inside your own country, inside your own party, inside your own family, right? And then the them becomes what was previously part of us.
Wow, you guys have some real trust issues, don't you?
Trust is a really big issue. We trust our group. I mean, we have a lot invested in our group. You want to believe that the people that you've made yourself vulnerable to really are worthy of that. And worthy people are good people. Right? Now, the people you don't trust, well, they must not be worthy of that trust, right? So, bad people.
We need to know and we need to communicate with each other who we can trust, who we can't trust, who we should associate with, who we shouldn't associate with, who we should help, who we should fight. And in that sense, judgments of good and bad are extremely important. Although there's a lot of harm involved in judgments of good and bad a lot of the times, they're indispensable parts of the way we conceptualize our world.
We're the good guys.
In my experience, the people who go out of their way to tell you that the good guys are the bad guys.
The fact that each side always thinks it's right is, of course, perfectly incompatible with one side being right and the other side being wrong. But what all this does show is that we're highly unreliable as moral judges of our own conflicts. We are motivated reasoners. That is, we're not so interested in getting at the truth. What we're interested in is finding out that we're right. And so what we do is we look for evidence that we're right, and we look for evidence that the other side is wrong. What this means, of course, is that one side is going to think that it's completely in the right and the other side is evil, and the other side will think the same. So the result of this process on both sides is the demonization of the other side.
I've seen these people, and they are animals.
In any war or conflict, of course, there are people hurt on both sides.
The minute you've defined us versus them, some innocent people are going to get hurt. We see people overstepping their bounds to ensure the safety of people they love in ways that we think are terrible.
With the issue of self-defense, violence and self-defense, that's really where the tricky moral questions arise.
Let's say it really is an us or them, either we live or they live. Right? Do we have some sort of moral right at that point to preserve ourselves?
Duty was over, he surrendered.
We're supposed to regard people as people. They're supposed to be treated equally under a moral system.
Of course, this is an ideal which is built into our idea of justice. We appeal to a judge, to a jury, to make these judgments. That works within a society, but when you get to conflicts where there is no government or civil structure, then you don't have that appeal to an objective perspective.
The real problem is there's no way we can be sure he's telling the truth.
That is not necessarily true.
The principle that the end justifies the means is that any type of action can be justified provided that the end, the consequences, are sufficiently good. It's almost never the case that we're able to predict what the ultimate result of our actions will be. One thing you do know is that when you perform a means which is harmful, you are doing something which is almost certainly going to cause harm, pain in the world. If you torture, you're definitely tortured. But will it really save lives? That's all uncertain.
If everybody on the island survives, does that really justify torturing Ben or even killing young Ben? Even though Saeed seems certain that his actions are going to be justified by the ends, even in this case with time travel, the ends are not exactly clear.
And if you're wrong, then everyone on the island dies. Do you understand that?
I'm not wrong, Kate. This is it. This is why we're here.
It may seem to us that our ends justify the means, but it's pretty much guaranteed that it won't appear to the other side that our ends justify the means.
Did you kill them?
Well, they said I'd never see my son again.
So when you take that course, you prove to them, in effect, that they are right and that you are evil.
You want to redeem yourself for what you did, this is your only chance.
A relevant philosophical notion here is the doctrine of double effect. And the doctrine of double effect tells us that there's a difference morally between causing some harm knowingly and causing some harm intentionally.
So Michael goes on the freighter, right, with the intention of blowing it up. And even though he is actually engaging in this terrible act, he's not doing it for the purpose of killing those people. Right? He's doing it for the purpose of saving lives. Immanuel Kant, one of the great moral philosophers, really said that the only thing that's good in itself is the goodwill, right? Meaning, what is your intention? Most of the people on the island are selfish to some degree, altruistic to another degree, and it's the mixture that makes them interesting. Life would be really boring if it was just a matter of here's the good guys and here's the bad guys that are the others. I mean, part of the great thing about it is the moral ambiguity of it all. It is definitely not black and white. It can be gray, but the gray really goes in a whole lot of shades, right? And we hope for the shades of gray that are lighter than darker.